Hello, welcome to another coaching mastery video. In this video, we are going to look at WordPress, doing FTP with WordPress on Webuzo panel. Now, one of the reasons why I am doing this particular video is because Webuzo is new in the marketplace. That's in our own side of the world. Webuzo is a new thing. In fact, we're the ones that introduced the Webuzo panel to the marketplace. And because of that, a lot of people who are coming from the cPanel background are having a lot of problems working with and using Webuzo. So I'm going to start with working with WordPress in Webuzo so that a lot of the issues that starters are having with working with Webuzo panel will be resolved, because once I show you how to use WordPress and how to work your way around Webuzo with WordPress, it becomes easy to resolve other issues that may come across your way as far as Webuzo panel is concerned. So the end game, the specific purpose of this particular video is so that we build on the earlier video where we talked about FTP, and then you know how you can work with WordPress specifically in the scope of things as regards putting in plugins and themes into your WordPress installation. So if you get a WordPress theme, probably you have purchased a WordPress theme from somewhere and you want to install that WordPress theme, or you have purchased a WordPress plugin from a particular software developer or a vendor somewhere, you know exactly how to install that WordPress theme. If you try installing it from within WordPress itself and it is not working, there are several ways of installing themes and plugins. So I'm going to show you how you can get that done using your FTP client in this video. So the first thing we are going to do is that we are going to log into our Webuzo panel. So in order for you to follow this video, you need to first log into your Webuzo panel right away. So just go to your website, semicolon 2002, and then log into your Webuzo panel. By now, I believe you should be familiar with doing that. Once you are logged into your Webuzo panel, the next thing you want to do is you want to install WordPress. If you cannot find WordPress, I'm going to show you how to navigate to where you can install WordPress and install other software so that it is available for you to use. So just log into your Webuzo panel and follow the tutorial as it goes. So I'm logged into my Webuzo panel right now. Now, once you are logged into your Webuzo panel, the first thing you want to do is to check if WordPress is already installed and available for you to use. If it is already installed and available for you to use, then you can just go ahead and use it straight. There's nothing more to do other than to just use it to install WordPress on your website, and then you just move ahead from that point. So in order to search for a software in Webuzo, what you want to do is come into this search box here and then just type that software. So I'm going to just type WordPress. And once you type WordPress, it gives you that WordPress installation. So if WordPress is not here, if you search here and you cannot find WordPress, right now you have WordPress 5.0, 4.9, and 5.1. You can use any. If I'm going to use any, of course, I want to use the latest version. But just in case you search for WordPress here and you cannot find WordPress, what you want to do is you want to go to the control panel here. So this icon takes you to the control panel. So once you click on that icon, you go to the control panel. That's another section of your Webuzo panel. By now, you should be familiar with this area of your Webuzo panel, because this is where you set your premium license and things like that. So Once you get here, what you want to do is you want to come to the software area here, and you want to go to general scripts. Once you go to general scripts, you would be presented with all the scripts that are available for you to use with your installation of Webuzo. Right now, there are about 484 scripts that you can use, and they are installed. So in case you searched for WordPress and you cannot find WordPress, what you want to do in this area is that you just want to look through here, and you want to search for WordPress. So if you look here, you see WordPress, and you can see that WordPress is checked as installed. So you have WordPress 4.9 is checked as installed, you have WordPress 5.0 is checked as installed, you have WordPress 5.1 is checked as installed. Then here you have WordPress 5.2 is not installed here. So generally, I would prefer to go with the latest version of WordPress, which should be 5.2. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to deactivate 5.0, deactivate 4.9, deactivate 5.1, and I am going to install 5.2. So really, what you are doing here is that you are deciding what software you want installed and what software you don't want installed. If you want everything to be pre-installed for you by default, all you just need to do is check everything. And if you check everything, you discover that everything, all the softwares that are available here are already pre-installed for you and ready for you to use. It's quite a heavy library of softwares, and any of all these softwares is actually available to you at the click of a few mouse buttons. You have softwares for doing live chats, you have softwares for doing social networking, you have advert management softwares, you have calendars. There are so many softwares that you can use. You have Roundcube for mails, you have Roundcube, you have Square Mail, and so on and so forth. Now, another thing you want to pay attention to when you are allowing all softwares to be installed in this point is that not all softwares should actually be used. When you notice that a software is old, that means that software has not been updated in a very long time. Such softwares are softwares that you should try to avoid, because if you use that kind of software, it may end up giving you security issues on your server, or it may lead to problems that you never even expected. So try to avoid softwares that are old. And that is one of the reasons why I'm not going to install WordPress 4.9, because if there is a 5.0 version, then definitely 4.9 is very old. If there is a 5.1 version and there is a 5.0 version, I think I will just uncheck all of those and just go to 5.1. Now, when you have selected everything that you want, what you want to do is you want to update the software settings. This will just take a moment to be done with. And once you update the settings, you can see software not found, needs update, blah 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 blah. So it updates the setting, and once it is done, I'm just going to wait for it to be done. Once it is done, you can go back to your end user panel, because right now you are in the admin panel, and then you can now go back to your end user panel, and in the end user panel you repeat the search for that software, and once you repeat the search for the software, you find out that the software is now available for you to use, and then you can just go ahead with your installation. I'm just going to fast forward so that I don't have to take you through waiting for this to update. So we have our settings have now been successfully saved. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go back to our end user panel, and then in our end user panel we repeat the search for WordPress. So I'm just going to repeat the search for WordPress, and you can see WordPress is available here. So I click WordPress, And once I click WordPress, you can see that the version that is available is actually version 5.2, and that version was released on the 7th of April of May 2019. So it's a pretty recent version of WordPress. So I'm using WordPress 5.2. The next thing I want to do is I want to just click install now. So once I click install, I want to choose on what domain name I want to install. So I want to install on this domain, and I want to choose my protocol as this. So I prefer to use HTTPS because the world is now moving towards HTTPS install. Then I want to choose in what directory I want to install my WordPress. Now, if you look at, I'm going to be using this in connection with the CyberDoc FTP so that you can see what I'm doing in real time. Now, if you look at the directory of the website I'm working on right now, you notice that the public_HTML, I told you that's the root directory of your site. The public_HTML of the site currently has nothing but just folders in it. Now, if you want your WordPress to be installed directly in the root of your site, that is in the public_HTML directly, which means when someone comes to your site, the person goes to your website.com, and what the person sees immediately is your WordPress installation. Now, if that is what you want, then you will not put anything here. You will just clear it off. Once you clear it off, it will install in the root of your site. So you will find your WordPress installed in your site.com or your site.net or your site.com.ng. But for the purpose of this installation, I don't want to install in my root directory. I want to just use let me install in a directory called WordPress, and then you just do the rest of the configuration. You give your site a name. I'm just going to do 90-day challenge. All this is just a test. I'm going to do 90 days challenge, and then the description of this of the site, $100 per day in 90 days or less. And then I'm not going to check any of this. Then of course you want to choose the username for your WordPress installation, and you want to choose the password for your WordPress installation. I'm just going to leave all of this as default because right now I'm not really doing anything much. I'm just doing a demo. Now select plugins. I'm just going to leave all of this as it is right now. Select a theme. I'm just going to leave everything as it is. Advanced options. I'll just go with the default. I'm just going to leave everything as it is, go with the default, and then I'm just going to click install. Now, the moment I click to install, Webuzo installs WordPress on my site. And then when I come to my FTP and I do a refresh, you should now see a folder, a WordPress folder. By the time that installation is done, we should see an extra folder here, which should be the WordPress folder, and then we can just go into that folder and do whatever it is we want to do. So I'm just going to wait for that installation to be complete. It's still downloading, and I will just kind of skip a little so that you don't have to keep waiting to see installation being done and all of that. So I'll be back once the installation is complete. So as you can see, my installation of WordPress is complete. So to log into your WordPress site, you'd go to the admin, that's your WordPress site, the folder of install /wp-admin. And then for the main site, the front end of the site, you just go to that folder, which is your site /WordPress. And if you now refresh your FTP, you will notice that there is a folder WordPress now available for you. Now that the folder WordPress is available, what you want to do is that you want to navigate into that folder. When you navigate into that folder, you see everything that powers WordPress. So this is everything that powers WordPress. Now, for you to work with a theme or a plugin, what you want to do is you want to go into the WP-content folder. So just go into the WP-content folder. Now, if you are working with a theme, you want to go into the themes folder, just double click, and then when you are in the theme folder, you want to upload the theme you want to work with. So if you are working with a theme that is a zipped file, you upload that theme by clicking upload, and then once that theme has been uploaded, you extract that theme by expanding the archive. Just see the previous video on FTP. You expand that archive, and then you make sure that the theme is now unzipped. When the theme has been unzipped, you can delete the zip file so that you are not just keeping unnecessary files or files that are not in use on your server. So once that theme has been unzipped, you can now go into the admin of your WordPress and then navigate to themes, and you would see that theme there. The same thing with plugins. If you are uploading a plugin, let's assume you want to upload maybe Insta Builder or any other plugin. What you want to do is you want to go into the plugins folder by double clicking on it, upload that plugin, unzip the plugin, then go into the admin area of WordPress, activate that plugin, and that plugin will be available for use. I'll see you in the next video.